my quilty friends, welcome to my country farmhouse. Today I have a very special little skit for you that I wanted to show you my friend Nancy's quilt. I had told you in a previous video I'd like to show this quilt. Nancy had made a Lone Star quilt and it is very large and it's very beautiful. This quilt is an oversized king size quilt. I couldn't hang it in my sewing room, so I laid it out on my bed. My bed is a king size, and I would like for you to get the full effect and all of the wonderful details that are in this beautiful quilt. Nancy, I'm sure she's had lots of time in this, sewing all of these little triangles together, and I'm sure they were Y seams. I really don't know how she did this, but I'm sure it was a real challenge. But she has various colors of blue, greens, and purples, and navies, and it just kind of radiates out in the star points. And she also did some wonderful accent diamonds at the top and the bottom with her tan as her background and her beautiful dark purple as the border. It really makes this star pop out. It is beautiful. So I'm going to have Jim explain to you a little bit about the custom quilting that he did in this. He has put a lot of hours in this to really make it really quilty and beautiful for Nancy. So,
hello fellow quilters. So this particular quilt is a ginormous king. This came into us from a new client of ours. This was the first quilt we did. It was a custom quilt for her. She picked out all of the patterns and colors. If I remember rightly, it was 8 different patterns that went on this quilt, and I think 3 different colors of thread. So I'm just going to kind of go over real quick some of the patterns and what we did. The center star was the hardest part to decide what to do with, because we didn't want to take away any of the piecing on it. So I didn't want a pattern that was going to cover up that star or take away from just how beautiful it is. So what we decided on was just to freehand some kind of like a curvy square inside of each one of these. So everything inside of that giant center star is all freehand. Then we chose a lot of feather patterns, and you'll notice that this pattern and this pattern is actually the same pattern. It's just I took this, flipped it upside down, and put it there. So this was all machine quilted. Same thing too with the patterns up here. I don't know how well you can see that. Actually, let me come down here. You can see this one a little bit better. So you can see that this pattern and this pattern is the same. They're just flip-flop, and it gives you a really nice symmetrical design, and it fills up that block. Then around the borders, we ran some zigzags down through here, and then in the purple is a giant feather that goes all the way around. Now, one of the things that I did on this particular quilt, because I wanted all of the lines here to line up nice, I didn't want any of the feathers going into the tan, and I didn't want any of the zigzags coming into here. So what I actually did was, when I was quilting this, I quilted the entire top, all of the borders at the same time, and then I'd roll it all the way down to the bottom, and I did all of the bottom borders. Then I pulled the whole quilt off of the machine, turned it sideways, and then loaded it again, and that allowed me to run a perfectly straight line down through the side borders. So this quilt was actually rolled back and forth probably 40 or 50 times, and taken off the quilter, rotated, reloaded again so that I could get the other side of the borders. We did some feather patterns inside of all of these, and then in the corners I did these cute little cornerstones. That wasn't something that was discussed with the client, but it was one of those, I needed something to kind of bridge the gap between the zigzag here and the zigzag here, and there wasn't a really good way to kind of fill this block, so I decided just to do a cornerstone, and I really kind of like how that turned out. But here's just a overview of the whole thing. All said and told, I've got just about 3 days into this. We don't do a lot of custom quilting here. We will do custom quilting for very select clientele's very select quilts. To be honest with you, the quilt has to kind of speak to me, because custom quilting is a little bit of an art form, and if it's not something that I can see and I can't see a pattern develop for it, it's really hard to kind of put your artistic touch onto it. So This was a really fun one. It was a lot of work, especially that center star, everything being free-handed. We really appreciate the opportunity to do this quilt. This was a really fun and challenging quilt to do for me. I do enjoy this stuff, but like I said, we do custom quilting on a very limited basis. So I hope you like this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. And we'll chat at you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hey folks, thanks for watching our little video on the Lone Star quilt. It was amazing. So if you like this video, I would appreciate you to hit that subscribe button and help us out by supporting my channel. Stay tuned for what I have next. I have lots of show and tell to show you, and an awesome giveaway coming up here too. So stay tuned and I will chat at you later.